My name is Eun-ji, and for years, I believed I was living a life blessed with sunshine. Marrying Min-ho was like stepping into a K-drama fantasy. The handsome, devoted husband, the beautiful home, and two precious children who filled my days with sticky kisses and crayon masterpieces. Even my husband's family, initially intimidating, seemed to warm up to me, especially his mother. My husband's mother. I remember the day we moved closer to them. I was so excited. It'll be wonderful for the children, being near their grandparents. I'd chirp to Min-ho, picturing cozy Sunday dinners and impromptu visits. He smiled, that reassuring smile of his, and agreed. His mother, in particular, had seemed thrilled. "Oh, Eun-ji, darling," she'd said, her voice dripping with honey. "It's what's best for family. Family should always be together." Now, when I replay those words in my head, a shiver crawls down my spine. Family should always be together. It wasn't about love or support. It was about possession. It started subtly, almost invisibly. Little things. My daughter, Sua, came home from a visit to her grandmother's house, clutching a doll I'd never seen before. "Grandma said this doll is prettier than the ones you buy me, Mommy." My son, Junwoo, started calling his grandmother Amma sometimes, mixing it with Halmiani, Grandma. Children get confused, I told myself. It's just affection. But then came the whispers. Faint at first, like shadows in the corners of their eyes. Sua, usually so bubbly, became withdrawn, her laughter less frequent. Junwoo, my little chatterbox, grew quiet, observing me with an unsettling intensity. "Mommy, why do you look different in old pictures?" Sua asked one evening, pointing at our wedding album. Different? I was younger, of course. "Everyone looks different when they were younger, sweetheart," I explained, forcing a smile. She just stared, unconvinced. The unease coiled tighter in my stomach. It was during a family dinner, a boisterous affair at my husband's parents' house, that I heard it clearly for the first time. I was in the kitchen, helping my husband's mother with the dishes, the clatter of plates and forced pleasantries filling the air. The children were in the living room with my husband's mother's sister, my aunt-in-law, and my husband's older brother and his wife, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. My husband's father, a quiet, almost ghostly man, was in his study as usual. My husband's mother was humming a tuneless melody, her back to me. And then I heard it. My husband's mother's voice, though she was speaking to the children, somehow pierced through the kitchen door, sharp and cold. "Your real Halmiani loves you so much more than anyone else." Real Halmiani? What did that mean? My blood ran cold. I stopped washing dishes, my hands frozen in soapy water. I strained to hear more, but the children's giggles and the general din of the family gathering muffled her words. "Did you say something, Mother?" I asked, turning to her, my voice a little too high-pitched. She turned, her smile wide and innocent. "Darling? Just telling the children how much I adore them. Isn't that what grandmothers do?" Her eyes, though, didn't meet mine. They flickered away, a glint of something calculating in their depths. I told myself I was imagining things. Stress, new house, but the seed of suspicion had been planted, and it was starting to sprout in the darkness, a poisonous vine wrapping itself around my heart. The whispers became louder, bolder. They weren't just in the air, they were coming from my own children. "Mommy, Grandma says you weren't always our mommy." Junwoo said it with such innocent confusion, his brow furrowed. I knelt down, my heart pounding in my ears. "What do you mean, Junwoo?" "Of course, I've always been your mommy." He just shrugged, his small shoulders lifting and falling. "Grandma says she says real moms are different." "Different? Different how?" What was she telling them? I confronted my husband's mother directly, choosing a moment when Min-ho was at work. "Mother, I need to talk to you. About what you're saying to Sua and Junwoo." She was in her garden, pruning roses, her movements sharp and precise, like she was snipping away at something unwanted. She looked up, her eyes wide, feigning innocence. "Eun-ji, darling, what are you talking about?" "About telling them I'm not their real mother. About confusing them." My voice cracked, betraying my rising hysteria. She chuckled, a low, dismissive sound. Oh, Eun-ji, you're taking things so dramatically. I would never say such a thing. You must have misunderstood. Perhaps the children misunderstood. Children's imaginations, she waved her hand dismissively, returning to her roses. You're their mother. Of course you are. Don't be so sensitive. Sensitive? Was I being sensitive? Or was I going insane? Minho, bless his heart, tried to mediate, but he was blinded. Eun-ji, mother wouldn't do that. You know how she is, a little dramatic sometimes. She loves the children. You're just misinterpreting. He'd pat my hand, kiss my forehead, and tell me to relax. Relax? While his mother was poisoning my children's minds against me. The manipulation escalated. Sleepovers at Grandma's house became more frequent. Gifts, lavish and carefully chosen to undermine my parenting, started arriving regularly. Sugary treats I forbade, expensive toys that encouraged bad habits. And the whispers, always the whispers. When I tried to discipline Suwa, she'd look at me with cold defiance. Grandma says you're just jealous, because she's a better grandma than you are a mommy. Junwoo started flinching when I raised my voice, even slightly. Mommy, don't be angry. Grandma says angry moms aren't good moms. Fake mom, not a real mom. Grandma is the real one. The phrases echoed in my nightmares, whispered by my children, their faces distorted, accusing. I felt like I was drowning, suffocating in a sea of carefully crafted lies. My husband's mother was weaving a web around my family, slowly, meticulously, and I was trapped, watching my children slip further and further away from me. One afternoon, Suwa left her tablet at home. She'd been watching videos at her grandmother's house. Curiosity and a desperate need to understand led me to open the history. Endless videos of cartoons, yes, but then buried deep. Almost hidden videos with titles like The Importance of Grandmothers, Why Grandmothers Are the Best Moms, Real Moms versus Fake Moms. And then a video titled, Simply Your Real Family. I clicked on it, my hands trembling. It was animated, crudely drawn, but the message was clear. A cartoon grandmother, loving and kind, surrounded by adoring grandchildren. A cartoon mother, shadowy, cold, distant, always scolding. The narrator, a childish voice, but with a chilling undertone, said, sometimes, mommies aren't really mommies. Sometimes, grandmothers are the real moms. Grandmothers always love you best. Real mommies, they can be replaced. Replaced? Replaced? This wasn't just subtle manipulation. This was calculated, deliberate brainwashing. My husband's mother wasn't just undermining me. She was actively trying to erase me from my children's lives, to rewrite their reality. The blood roared in my ears. I felt a rage I had never known before, a primal, protective fury for my children, for myself, for the life that was being stolen from us. I didn't wait. I grabbed my keys, flew out of the house, and drove straight to my husband's parents' home. I stormed through the front door, ignoring the startled gasp of my aunt-in-law, who was leaving. I found my husband's mother in the living room, the children at her feet, their eyes glued to another tablet, undoubtedly filled with more poison. I snatched the tablet away, the screen freezing on a picture of a cartoon grandmother holding hands with two smiling children, the cartoon mother nowhere in sight. What is this? I screamed, throwing the tablet onto the sofa. My husband's mother blinked, feigning shock. Eun-ji, what is the meaning of this? You're frightening the children. Suwa and Junwoo cowered behind her, their eyes wide with fear, but not of me. Of my outburst. Of breaking the carefully constructed facade. Don't play innocent with me, mother. I know what you're doing. You're filling their heads with lies, telling them I'm not their real mother, showing them videos that brainwash them against me. My voice was shaking, tears streaming down my face, but I didn't care. I had to break through. I had to make her see the monstrousness of what she was doing. Her mask of innocence shattered. Her eyes narrowed, and a cruel smile twisted her lips. Real mother? You think you're a real mother, Eun-ji? You came into our family, took my son away, and now you dare to question me? You're nothing but an outsider. You'll never be one of us. Her voice dripped with venom, years of suppressed resentment finally spilling out. Outsider? These are my children, your grandchildren. How can you do this to them? To us. I gestured wildly at the children, who were now clinging to her legs, their small faces pale and confused. Why are you doing this? What do you want? She stood up, towering over me, her eyes burning with a cold, possessive fire. I want my son back. And my grandchildren. You stole them from me, Eun-ji. You took my place. But they are mine. They always were. And they always will be. You're just temporary. A placeholder. She reached out and stroked Sua's hair, her gaze fixed on me, cold and triumphant. They belong with their real family. With me. The world went silent. I don't know what possessed me. Maybe it was years of suppressed anger. Maybe it was the sheer, unadulterated evil in her eyes. But I slapped her. Hard. Across the face. The sound echoed in the suddenly silent room. Her hand flew to her cheek, her eyes widening in genuine shock for the first time. You are sick, I whispered, my voice hoarse. You are a sick, twisted woman. And you will not destroy my family. I turned to my children, my heart breaking at the fear and confusion in their eyes. Sua, Junwoo, come with mommy. Now. They hesitated, looking from me to their grandmother, torn, confused, their loyalties fractured by her poisonous lies. They came. Slowly, hesitantly they came to me. As I led them out of that house, away from her suffocating presence, I felt a sliver of hope pierce through the darkness. Maybe, just maybe, we could escape. Maybe we could heal. Maybe we could rebuild our family. Brick by painful brick. I told Minho everything. Everything she had done. Everything she had said. I showed him the videos, the proof of her calculated manipulation. He was devastated. Angry. He confronted his mother, a furious, tearful confrontation that shook the foundations of their family. He promised me he would protect us, that he would put an end to her poison. For a while, it seemed to work. We moved further away. We limited contact with his mother. We started therapy for the children, for us as a couple, for me, to untangle the web of lies she had woven. Slowly, painstakingly, Sua and Junwoo started to come back to me. The whispers faded. The fear in their eyes lessened. I started to breathe again. One evening, months later, Junwoo drew a picture. A family picture. Me, Minho, Sua, and him, holding hands, smiling, bathed in sunshine. He handed it to me, his eyes bright. Mommy, look. It's us. Our real family. My heart swelled with love and relief. Yes, sweetheart, I whispered, hugging him tight. Our real family. But then I saw it. In the corner of the picture, almost hidden, drawn in faint pencil lines, barely visible, a shadowy figure. Behind us, watching, a woman with long, dark hair, her face obscured, but her eyes were unmistakable. Cold, possessive, burning with a chilling, unwavering intensity. My husband's mother, still watching, still there, always there. And I knew with a certainty that chilled me to the bone that even though we had escaped her house, we would never truly escape her. She would always be lurking in the shadows, whispering in the corners of our lives, waiting for her chance to reclaim what she believed was hers. Our real family? Perhaps. But in her eyes, we would always be fake. And that, I realized with a sickening lurch in my stomach, was a battle we might never truly win.